What's going on, guys? I am Ryan here with Michigan Storm Chasers. Finally catching up on some sleep here. We've been live continuously the past 2 days for a long period of time, but we're probably going to do it again today. Let me explain. All right. SPC does have a marginal risk of severe weather in place. So that means level 1 out of a scale of 5. So it's the lowest risk we can have. Two areas here in Michigan today: a big area in eastern lower Michigan from Alpena all the way down to Lansing, Mount Pleasant, all the way down through Hillsdale, east toward Port Huron into Canada, Lake Erie / Lake Huron. All right. Second area up in the western UP, a marginal risk up there. So Houghton, Ironwood, those areas, Gogabec counties, you guys are in that marginal risk. What are the concerns today? All right. Let's split these areas down. East lower Michigan, the only concern with these storms today would be damaging winds up to 60 plus miles per hour. This is because there's a lot of moisture in the atmosphere, just like yesterday. If you caught our streams and our coverage yesterday, we had a lot of storms produce damaging wind gusts in terms of microburst, downburst type of events. Same thing applies today, although there is a little bit more shear today to get storms organized. All right, that's why we have that marginal in place. Our shear is bumping up just a tad, not too much, but just enough to get us warranted, a little more warranted concern for some severe wind gusts today. There also could be potential for some isolated pockets of large hail, although that's a pretty low risk. Just want to mention that as well. As far as tornadoes go, not expecting anything in lower Michigan today. It should be pretty much a damaging wind gust day. But up in the UP, main risk, once again, damaging winds. We also have the hail risk. This is your hail map now up there in the western UP. We also have a risk for a tornado up in the western UP as well by Ironwood. Now, jumping into the models. The models don't really show too much happening in the western UP. Timing on western UP later on this evening, probably after 7, 8, 9 p.m. Eastern time, although the models don't really show much anything happening. Let's go ahead and take a peek at this real quick until we get to that time frame after sunset. Bam, here's your storms up there in the western UP. This is at 10 p.m. Via the MPAS model. All right. So that's going to be your concern. Latest guidance, though, ARRR, NAM3 don't really show too much in the way of happening up there. We'll keep an eye on that. I know we've had some risks up there not verify. Today may be one of those cases again, but again, these models are kind of split. Treat it as a risk, treat it as such. Storms arrive after dark. We'll cover it if there's anything to cover. Now, lower Michigan, eastern lower Michigan, with that moist air mass in place, we're going to be looking at pop-ups here throughout the day today. And this model does indicate these happening in far eastern lower Michigan. Now, these don't look too much on radar. If I zoom in for you guys who can't really see this too well, but if I zoom way in here and I run this through the time frame and I pause it right there, these don't look like much in the way of severe storms there in eastern Michigan. But with the moisture in place, with the wind shear, with the what we call downdraft cape available again today, as we saw yesterday, these storms very well may contain damaging winds because of microbursts. Microbursts are simply a lot of rain coming out of a storm, hits the ground, spreads outward all directions. It can produce gusty, damaging winds. And we saw that yesterday, especially in Lenawee, Monroe County, but also pockets near Ithaca, up near Alcona County, Iosco County, as well as Isabella and the county next to Isabella is escaping me. Mecosta County. And also Kent County as well. Power outages, damage reports coming in from these storms yesterday, producing damaging wind gusts via microburst. Same thing applies today. More coverage of storms is expected, which is why that marginal is in place, in addition to the extra wind shear available today. Now, when I say extra wind shear, I'm not talking like tornadoes, stuff like that. This is just going to organize updrafts a bit better today than it did yesterday. We're not seeing anything in the way that would warrant attention for a tornado or two possible at this point. So just strictly a damaging wind risk there for eastern lower Michigan. Main time frame, peak heating, 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. That's going to be your centralized time frame. Pop-ups may happen before or after those time frames, but just center your attention between that 2 p.m. and 10 p.m. time frame for isolated pop-up storms. There's no organization. There's no lines coming through. It's just expected to be pop-up storms, scattered, isolated, about in the marginal risk area. So regardless of severe risk, the entire state remains in a general thunderstorm risk today. Again, hot, Humid conditions going to allow pop-up storms to form, especially along lake breeze boundaries, outflow boundaries from previous storms. Watch those closely. Although severe weather should be tied to the eastern, lower Michigan, and western parts of the UP, we still may get a stray strong storm or two outside those risk areas. So just keep in mind potential for pop-ups today with the heat and humidity of the day during the afternoon and evening. But after that, it should die down towards sunset and after that. All right. One thing I do want to mention as well, tomorrow we don't have a severe risk in place, but I will say models are hinting at more coverage once again tomorrow across lower Michigan. Zooming this back out, going to the HRRR model, we're going to run this forward for tomorrow. Go ahead and get the latest run up here. Here we go. Let's go ahead and move this forward to tomorrow. This is what's showing here. We have pop-up storms tomorrow all across lower Michigan. These will likely be in the same environment as today. A lot of moisture available, downburst potential. We very well could be added to a severe risk again once again for tomorrow as well, which should be Wednesday at this point. So keep in mind today, tomorrow, pop-ups possible. Damaging wind gusts possible via microburst. Up in the western UP, kind of watching later on this evening for all hazards possible. It's still going to be a mainly damaging wind risk and large hail risk up there as well. With that being said, do us a favor, hit the like button. If you have not already, subscribe to the channel. We're pumping out videos as much as possible, streaming every severe storm or tornado warning here in Michigan as needed, 24/7, 365. We got you covered here. Stay tuned to the pages. We'll keep you guys updated with this risk. And once again, we do have coverage expected later on today and probably tomorrow as well when these storms, if these storms become severe. So do us a favor, smash the like button. Stay tuned to the pages. We got you covered. Stay safe and stay hydrated in this heat, guys. We have a couple more days left of 95 plus degree heat indices here in Michigan. So with that being said, I'll be off of here. We'll see you guys later.